All right, so today we're excited to welcome Tish Venturini-Hoch. Tish is a true legend in U.S. women's soccer, an Olympic gold medalist, World Cup champion, four-time NCAA champion at UNC, and a National Soccer Hall of Fame inductee. And if that isn't enough, she's also the co-founder of Team First Soccer Academy, a youth soccer training and development program she launched alongside Mia Hamm and Christine Lilly, and a member of the ownership group of Angel City FC, a professional women's soccer team. In this episode, we go beyond the impressive list of accomplishments to get to know the person behind the legacy. Tish shares her incredible journey from winning Olympic gold to the World Cup and how the game has shaped her life, teaching her lessons in leadership, teamwork, and a balance along the way. So with that, we'd like to hear from you, Tish. In your own words, who are you, what do you do, and why do you do what you do? Starting off.
You got it. My name's Tish Venturini-Hoch, uh, retired soccer player. I'm a mom of two. I have two kids. My son is actually a football player at San Jose State, and my daughter is graduating high school in a few days and going to play soccer at the University of Texas. So I've spent majority of my life raising them. Now they're going to be out of here, so I'm actually on the market for a job. You guys need any assistance? But yeah, I've run a soccer academy with Christine, Lilly, and Mia Hamm and Angela Kelly for the past like 11 or 12 years. I played until I was 31, and then I got married and had kids. And so I just kind of rolled right from being a soccer player to being a mom. So we started these soccer camps as a chance to kind of, after you're on a team your whole life and then all of a sudden you're not, it's sort of like a huge shock to your system. And so like we were missing each other. And so we started a soccer camp so that we could help the youth and give back to the game, but also be around the people that I kind of grew up with and like my lifelong friends. So we do this soccer camp where we do 3 or 4 camps a year. And it's been awesome. We are encouraging the kids to mostly like play for the love of the game and have fun, because in this day and age, everybody's so crazy about being on the World Cup team and the Olympics and getting a scholarship that everybody forgets the reason why we play in the first place, which is to enjoy it and have fun. So we push that. We push teamwork. We push fun. We push working hard and dealing with adversity, all things that we grew up dealing with that the kids today maybe aren't as much. So that's the kind of the core purpose of our camps. And I also coach at the local high school right here. So all winter long, I'm over there every day, involved with those kids and kind of helping them grow and learn as not only soccer players, but, as human beings. So that's another little side job that I have. So I guess I mean, I'm still around the game. I love the game. I love the kids and when they're young and they just want to play and have fun. That's where I love to be. So that's where I continue. So I'm about to be an empty nester. So that we'll have to do another call and see how that goes.
Right. That's awesome. No, I think it's so cool to see how you've kind of continued to foster your love for soccer beyond just being an athlete. I think, like you mentioned, it's can be a hard transition for like professional athletes where it's like that's what you did 20 like every day, all day long playing the sport, and then
Yeah.
one day it ends and it's who am I now without the game? So I think it's cool how you transitioned into being a mom, but also found ways to incorporate soccer into your life beyond just on the field.
Yeah, and I'm just a coach, and so I used to go over to the school and do PE for like all like not as the PE teacher, as like a mom. I would go and run their PE class. So it's been really fun because I've got to know all the kids from elementary school, and now when I'm over at the high school as a coach there, like I'll see kids that my daughter or son had in 3rd grade, and they're like, "Hey, Miss Tish." And it takes me, I have to look at their face and I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's been a really fun relationship, kind of seeing these kids all grow.
Yeah.
And so the graduation's like next week. And so I've known all these kids a lot of their lives. So it's been really kind of neat being in the community and being, a little bit of a role model for those kids in like basically in the neighborhood.
That's probably
Totally.
like the highlight of their day. I remember Christine, when she first moved to Medfield, our high school soccer coach immediately got her to come to one of our practices. We thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
It
I've,
is
I've
cool.
been telling her, I'm like, Lil, you got to get over there. And like now, and just like she tries to be like, I'm like, just go and volunteer. You can come and go as you want. Like, I think she's nervous about it a little bit, but that's what I did. I like emailed the soccer coach like 10 years ago, and I'm like, hey man,
Yeah.
I told him who I was, and I'm like, I'd love to volunteer and just come out. And
Yeah.
he was like, heck yes. And then I've been there for like, 8 years or something, and
That's
you can, it's just neat. And it's good. It's great for the kids, but it really has been it's great for us because we just are so attached to the game. And I think we have a lot to offer, a different perspective. And so it's always great when you can give back. So I've been bugging her to get out there for that Medfield. Was it Medfield High School? That's
Yeah,
where
yeah.
her daughter goes. Yeah.
She,
That's where you guys went?
yeah.
yeah,
We both
that's
played
what,
So cool.
soccer.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys you played soccer then or no?
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. We played together.
That's how we met. Yeah, we overlapped one year as a freshman. Kale was the senior captain
Oh, cool.
that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maggie.
Teammates, man.
Yes.
Mates for life.
Nothing better.
Exactly.
That's forever.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was gonna ask you, I was like, so who are you outside of soccer? But it's cool how like soccer has just like kind of a part of you, it seems like, and it's just like integrated into your life. But I think beyond being a coach, beyond playing on the field, are there things about you that like people don't know about you? Like where you obviously find joy in the game and coaching other people and
Yeah.
having and finding their own joy within soccer. Are there things beyond the game or just beyond being on the field where you find joy that people might not know that about you?
Yeah. I like music. So back in the day when I was a kid, I was in the band. Like I played like the saxophone and then the drummer got thrown out. So I played a little bit of drums. So I haven't been playing lately, but like I have a drum set in my room and over COVID, my daughter and I bought guitars and picked up the guitar and then I bought a keyboard and started fumbling around with that. So actually now that the kids are going to be gone, like that's one thing, like I don't have time to do it now, but I'm going to get back into that. Like I just go on YouTube and kind of teach myself. And I was actually getting pretty good at the guitar. And now I literally can't even I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot. So
Yeah.
I love music. And so I'm going to probably get back into that. It's a good thing to when I just over COVID, I would sit for like 2 hours and just play. And all of a sudden I'd be like, oh my gosh, like where did the time go?
That's so cool.
So I'll get back into that. And obviously I like exercise, like I work out, like I love to hike. I like to run lately I'm getting older. I'll go walk with like my friends. Like I hate to do that. They're like, do you want to go on a walk? And I'm like, well, let me do like, I'll do a little workout here first and then I'll go walk. I haven't totally got to where the walk is my workout, but
Yeah.
that's like a thing around here. Everybody wears like a weighted vest. Have you seen that?
That's so fun. I
And
have seen,
yeah, all around here, everybody has a weighted vest and they walk for like 2 hours. I'm like, I don't know.
I just see the power mom walk, the
That's
really
what I'm
fast,
talking
like
about.
resting your leg. I
Yeah,
haven't seen the weighted vest, but
but
maybe it's
with a weighted
underneath.
vest.
Maybe it's underneath.
Yeah. Oh, it's
or like
cold
the
there. They
ankle
probably have
weight.
it under, but here it's like you can see it. And I'm like, what are these people doing? So that's
That-
probably gonna be my next adventure.
There we go. Some power
I'm
walking.
heading towards the power walking.
That's
I
fun.
love it. No, that's awesome. I think when you did you start playing instruments when you were younger and like
Yeah.
were you able to play instruments alongside like becoming a professional soccer
Yeah.
player?
No, I didn't play for a long time. So I played as it like in elementary and like junior high, and then I didn't play any music for high school. Back then I played like, did you guys play multiple sports? I played like every sport. I was always doing something. So I didn't do any of that. And then I can't remember when I got the drum set. My husband ordered me one. It's like the one it's electric. You can plug it in and put like a headset on.
Yeah, that's
And so
awesome.
I love it. And I'm not great at it, but I can kind of figure it out. And YouTube nowadays, you can like you don't need to get like a lesson. Like you do it on your own time.
Yeah.
So at one point, my daughter had the ukulele, the guitar. We had a guitar, we had a keyboard, and then she can actually play a little too. So we would play a little bit of the drum. So it was kind of crazy around here for a while.
That's awesome.
With
I
the
kind of
dog
went
barking.
overboard a bit. Like I kept going to the music store and I came back with 2 guitars and a ukulele. And then I came back with a keyboard. And my husband's like, dude, what are you doing?
It's like a
I'm
band
curious,
band.
do you feel like you saw any overlap between sports and music, or was it more of an outlet for you? Do you see an overlap with the practicing part of it?
Yeah, I think it's a commitment. Like the more committed you are to it, obviously you get better at it. Yeah, it's just like a way to it's kind of how you feel when you're playing. Like when I would play, it's like I wasn't thinking about anything else. And it just brought me joy. Like I could just shut out and play. And same with music. Like I could play guitar for like 2 hours and not be stressed about whatever else is happening. You know what I mean? It's your kind of your getaway. So in that regard, yeah, I think it's very similar. Is just get into your happy place and you can just kind of be there as long as you want to practice or play. Same with me working out when I'm running or whatever. Like that's my kind of release. Like that's what I look forward to.
Right.
So that's a similar spot. You're right about that.
Yeah. And so we talked a little about you and your background, and then even taking a step back further and maybe more high level, we're curious about how you define wellness and what it looks like in your life.
Now,
Yeah. Or
yeah,
now or throughout
yeah.
your life.
Well, I mean, I guess I just like taking care of yourself, like feeling good, spending time on yourself, your well-being. I think I probably worry about it more now that I'm older. Like back in the day, I don't think I thought. I mean, I needed to be fit because I was like a high level player.
Hmm.
Now I do it more so that I can function.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I worry. Well, and especially back in our time, there wasn't any like we didn't worry as much about hydration or like we didn't have the recovery legs, we didn't have ice bath, you know what I mean, like there wasn't all this stuff, so we didn't even know about it, so we were just grinding through, and just getting like we made sure we slept enough and we ate as well as we could, but there was no recovery and like prehab like the kids are doing now. It's like a whole different ball game.
But you were
So
still, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, there wasn't anything. Like we literally would like just get up and go play, and we played 2 days in a row. We weren't recovering at all. We weren't getting massage. We weren't doing ice. We weren't doing any of that stuff. So as far as it's come, it almost is like too far, too many things. Like my son he spends 30 minutes pre workout doing all this stuff, and then he comes home and does all this stuff. I'm like, man, just suck it up. Just go play. It's like there's too much. They're watching videos on how to do this and all this. I don't know. And there's a lot. For me right now, I worry about like sleep. Like I have to get like if I can get 8 hours of sleep, I'm gold. I hydrate. Actually, Lil's got me more drinking electrolytes, which I never did.
Yeah.
So today I have like she does the element packet, so I drink one of those a day because I work out harder than like a normal person, I would say. I'm conscious about what I eat, which I've been for a while. And hydration, sleep, and I mean that's kind of it. I exercise, obviously, I have to do every day. I not have to, but I'd like to get some form of exercise in every day. And then I actually started picking up on some breathing stuff, just like because I was having trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
So I was doing like the box breathing. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
That works well for me. So I've been sort of tinkering in that a little bit. And so I think just like, and wellness is not just physical. Like I used to only think physical wellness. Like I just have to be able to survive so I can play. Now it's like mental, obviously, and spiritual, like emotional. So all of those things as I've grown older, I've taken care of more.
Yeah.
Obviously I have a lot of friends in the neighborhood. So spending time with friends and family, it brings me a lot of joy and connection. So that's huge for me. I do like to golf. I should have mentioned that along with the music. Like I'll golf. For me, it's tough because I'm very competitive. So when I'm not any good, which I'm decent, I'm not great, I get upset about it. But like I'm working on that. But that's another hobby that I enjoy a lot. And Lil golfs, Mia golfs. So that's something we do too as a group when we get together. If we travel, we'll go golfing,
Yeah.
which is fun. So there's a lot of pieces of the wellness. And obviously the older you get, the more I seem to be paying attention to it, which now the young kids are paying more attention to it because it's out there and they're aware of it. And they have access to all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that you guys are doing what you're doing. People can learn from you. I get recipes off like Instagram. So it's like all right there. It's like, you just have to utilize it.
Right. And you talked about during your playing days too, you weren't as exposed to that. You focus on the sleep, the main things. Do you think, looking back, is there a happy medium? Do you think you could have benefited from some of the stuff that is more popular today? Are you glad that you played in a time and you were able to still be successful, obviously, without all of that stuff? Like, do you have a view on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always told. Like Lil and I were like, geez, we never had a water bottle. We never carried a water bottle anywhere. Like we might have drank. I don't know when we drank at practice. We probably took a couple of drinks at Gatorade, of like a little water out of the Gatorade cup. Maybe once we got home, we had a glass of water. I'm like, We were like, oh my God, can you imagine if we would have been hydrated?
Oh, you got
We
that
were
would
like
be
in North Carolina, like in the hottest place. We never worried about drinking anything. We ate kind of like whatever.
yeah,
I mean, we slept okay back then. I mean, we were college kids, so
yeah.
yeah, it's a lot different than now. Like now, the kids don't go anywhere without their water bottle and all the prehab and stuff. So it's a big difference than how it is today,
I love
for
that
sure.
line. Can you imagine if we were hydrated? I
Rested,
love that.
hydrated,
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
so
all
simple
that
funny.
thing.
stuff. Yeah, it would have been. But I think the people we were playing against were in the same boat. It was like that. It
Yeah.
was the '90s. Like nobody knew about any of that, so we were
Yeah.
all in the same playing field.
And when you said like before you were like it's too much, I think that is interesting because it's like you can be like there's so many different ways to like focus on wellness and it is kind of like you said on our at our fingertips. Like you open Instagram and there's like all different things, whether it's like related to food, to mental health, like it's all there. Like, but it is a lot. And like when you say it's too much, do you think it's like too much physically or do you think it's like too much like mentally to kind of think about like how am I supposed to be like approaching wellness when there's just like so many different
Yeah,
paths and
that I think
opinions?
it's overwhelming. Like I'll Google like hydration drinks, and then there's like 4,000. You know what I mean? And then so I just ask, like, I have friends that I try, like I'll ask a friend like, hey, to get a recommendation. There's too many things out there, or it's like now like salt is good. Like everything that used to be bad is now good, right?
Yeah.
So you don't, and then you don't want to eat fat before. Now you want to eat, like, I don't know. It's like there's too many things. So I'm trying to be selective. Like I picked up the breathing thing. That's worked great for me to help me sleep. Like
Yeah.
the hydration, the electrolytes are helping me with that. It's just too many things. Like I'll go on there and I'll just get lost. Like your newsletter is good because it's very like there's some specific things you can look into. You know what I mean? With otherwise, you go on there and you just get into this. An hour later, you're still looking, and then I just give up, and then I don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
No.
know,
Totally.
it's overwhelming, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some guidance is good. Or if you have like like there's a couple of the Instagram like meal, like the food that I like. So I just go to those two and then I'll just be selective as to like the easiest recipe I'll take,
Yeah.
because otherwise you'll be on there for, it's just too much information. And everything doesn't work for everyone either, right?
Yeah.
It's like some people don't need as much, rest or hydration. I found a few things that I like, and then I just try to stick minimal stuff.
Yeah.
you know,
Simple is sometimes more.
simple. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right. I think the recommendations is the biggest piece because there's so much with the products and stuff out there. It's like get a reliable friend like Christine or somebody that you know that you trust.
yeah, yeah. Because she has a friend too that does like there's research too that you can do, and then you can spend hours doing research. I don't know. I get overwhelmed too easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I touch with her to and get in touch with her for certain things, and then or I just don't. Then I don't do it, and then I'll wait until I like get a hear about it again, and then I'll research it again. So I'm a slow. It takes me a while to get into like a habit or like a groove, but I'm starting to. But there's just too much information both ways.
Yeah.
This is someday it's good for you, the next day it's not. I'm like, come on. Like the creatine, like I started to see like women like my age should be taking creatine, and wow, like creatine when I was growing up, I was like, you can't have that. Like, don't ever take creatine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like now it could be good. Like, I don't know. So I'm tinkering, and that's my next one that I'm like researching. So if you guys know anything about creatine for over 50-year-olds, I'm looking for it.
There we go. It's actually come up in a couple of these conversations. So
Has it?
we'll get
But
some.
Kayla,
I need to know if what's happening.
we have to check in with the woman that we talked to because she said she had tried it for a month and she was like, I'm not sure if it's placebo yet. She said, I think I can feel the difference. She said, check back in with me. So we'll have to
Okay, check in, then
check
let
with
me
her
know.
after the
That's
call.
the thing. Like, you have to do something long enough to
Exactly.
tell
Yeah.
if it works or not, right? So
Exactly.
you have to be committed.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We,
did have like one more question tied to the wellness too before we move on. Is like it seems like wellness is just like even if you are saying like you're learning more as you go, it just you are like a very like wellness focused person and like above the average individual. And I'm sure that's kind of like rubbed off on your kids and it sounds like they're both like athletes, and I'm sure that wellness is a part of their life. How has it been like, how have you approached like parenting kids who are athletes and sharing like your wellness tips, but also they're in a new generation and they're focused on different things and like also learning from them, and like how has that balance been of both kind of like passing on what you know onto
Yeah.
your kids, but also learning from your kids?
Yeah, obviously, like exercise is big, and we're just athletes in this family, so we're always out doing stuff. Or physical activity has always been a part of our lives, so that's a gimme. Um, and my kids are good sleepers. Like I always had like a bedtime routine. I'm like, they need this amount of sleep. I didn't let them just do crazy, like stay up and they'll do whatever they want. Like we were pretty regimented. Like you need rest. Um, I think my son is like, oh, like knows more than I do about all, like he has all his supplements, and then he's always in the legs and he's watching YouTube videos he's doing stretching. Like I'm not a stretcher. That's one thing I will admit. Like I do not stretch, and I complain about why am I tight and I'm sore. He'll stretch for 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
while I'm sitting over here researching creatine for 4 days and a half, and I look over there and he's stretching and he's rolling and he's got the lacrosse ball. So he's way ahead of me, man. He's very serious about it, and he's a football player, so you have to take care of your body or you can't play, right?
Yeah.
And he's into diet, like he's selective. He's not eating a bunch of junk. So he's actually, I mean, I have boundaries. I mean, but I have a candy jar over here. I do let you know that I never was like, don't do this because
Yeah.
you do that. And then we were pretty open, but with boundaries in line. And my daughter too, she's not as like detailed as he is, but she's aware of her sleep. She hydrates. She obviously works out. She's going to be a college D1 athlete. So I think it's different when you're used to it. Like the way I grew up, and I was an athlete, so you just kind of continue that on. So I don't think they know any different.
Yeah.
But my son, but they're definitely, my son is he's way higher level than I am as far as all like just continuing to take care of his body. He is. I can't commit as much as he is doing,
Yeah.
which is great to see. Like it is time. It's time and it's work.
Yeah.
And my daughter will see, because now in college you go early, you do the prehab, you stay after and you get treatment. It's like it's a whole thing. You don't just
Yeah.
show up and play for an hour and a half and leave. You got
Yeah.
to go. You go in to eat. There's a nutritionist. There's sports psychologists. Like when you go to a college like that, you have all of that, which
Yeah.
we didn't have any. Like I didn't have a sports psych until we were in the Olympics, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they have access to all of this stuff, which I think is great. And then you just decide if it's for you or not. It's not for everyone, but
Yeah.
to have the guidance that they have now and to have the access it's phenomenal.
Right. Yeah. I
I
love
like that you
that.
said too, in response to Kayla's question, that it's more the lifestyle that you've lived and you just kind of live through it. Even the techniques that you were talking about, the breathing techniques, those aren't tied to specific products that could go in and out of trends. Like a breathing technique is something you do. If it works for you, it does, it
Yeah.
does. If it doesn't, it doesn't, you drop it. But stuff
Right.
like that, or sleep, or going for walks and stuff like that, are just basic lifestyle habits. We're also interested in learning more about your early life. So we talked a little bit about your family, but could you tell us more about your childhood, or if there's a story that stands out to you that might give us a glimpse into more about your childhood, or maybe how it's influenced your career, or even the way you parent?
Yeah, I think I'm the youngest of three, so I have a brother who is only like 19 months older, and my sister was like 4 years older. So I wasn't super tight with her because she was a little bit too old for me. But my brother and I were like tied at the hip, and we were in a neighborhood of boys. So I grew up playing every sport you can imagine with like six other boys. It was like me and all the boys. So we would turn our garage into a roller hockey like arena. So we taped up like goals on the inside, and then we'd clear the garage out, and then we'd play roller skate hockey, like full contact, like 3-on-3. And I'd always be like, all the other boys would like get a bloody nose or like go home crying. And so like, I was like, God, what's up with these boys? So I was probably like the toughest one. I was like 2 years younger than everybody. and I remember just loving it. Like we would play hockey, then we'd play basketball, then we'd go swim, and then we'd play wiffle ball in the front. And then we had a little grass field up top was where like we played 2v2 soccer. So I think it, and my mom was like, go play with the boys. Like she wasn't like, oh, honey, watch out. Like
Yeah,
my
yeah,
dad was a little more cautious, but he was a ear, nose, and throat doctor. So he was like always, he wasn't around a lot. My
yeah,
mom was like home all the time. And so I'd be like, I'm going to go out. She'd go play with the boys. So she would encourage me. She's like, go do it. I'm like, they're playing tackle football. Awesome. Like, she'd be
yeah,
like, go do it. Go jump off a cliff. Go do whatever. So I was like part of that group. And so I just grew up tough as heck because I was playing with boys all the time. And we played every sport. We played tennis. We played golf. I did ballet. I did gymnastics. We were just active. Like my sister was a big tennis player. So we were just always, my mom still, she's 83 and still plays tennis on the tennis team. And she's a pickleballer. And so
wow.
we're just active. Like we were always doing stuff.
Yeah,
And like I said, my mom kind of gave me that don't be afraid of, like, just go do it. Like we had like motorcycles at my grandparents' house when we were little, and just get on it and go. Like don't
yeah,
think twice about it. So um I think it gave me a lot of confidence as a young girl to be out like playing with boys and competing, and I wasn't afraid to compete,
yeah,
which I think is great for a young girl.
yeah,
Um, so it was a fun. It was great. I had a kind of a smaller town out in the country, and we just family was very tight. Like my parents are still around and come to all my kids' games and stuff. So it was a really fun childhood.
yeah,
It's similar to a lot of the national. Like Lil had an older brother, Mia had older brother, Carla had older brother. It's like when you all sit down and talk about it, it's like we all grew up in the same way. Like
yeah,
hanging out, competing with boys in different sports, and it just kind of built you into a competitive, athlete.
yeah,
That
Yeah.
can compete without being hydrated.
Yeah. And you don't
Might
need
be
to
the
drink any
toughest.
water or like do
You've been through
any
worse.
or like elevate your legs. I think that's what we used to do after practice. We like shake each other's legs for about 30 seconds and they'd be like, okay, we're out of here.
Yeah.
all good.
All
Ready for
done. Yeah, yeah, we're fine.
that's awesome. No,
Yeah,
I think
but
that
so
is
so
so
that's how
cool.
we grew up. Like I would have the kids in the backyard. I'd invite like the neighborhoods would come over, and we played different stuff. Like go play, and my kids played multiple sports. Like you can't do that as much as we used to be able to do, but like play other stuff. Like
Yeah,
can't everybody's so like into like one thing, and I get calls every day. Will you train my kid? And or like, where's the speed trainer? Who do you go for this? And I'm like, how old is this person?
yeah,
They're like 10. I'm like, just like
yeah,
go to the beach and run around.
yeah,
Like go to practice, but you don't need to be doing all this
yeah,
now. Like these kids get burnt out and injured so early because they've been doing the same thing for their whole life.
yeah. And I think
So
that's like such a piece that we're missing now. It's just like the aspect of playing. Like
play.
it's
Yeah.
like that, and that's what's when you grow up playing and you have fun with it, and there's competition, and you're gonna get roughhoused and you're gonna like get hurt or whatever, but it's like you're having fun, you're out there, you're playing, and you just keep showing up, and it's that like encourages you to grow and like be a better player. Where is now I feel like there's so much pressure to be a better player
Yeah.
and to kind of be better than the next person, and we lose that aspect of just like the joy that comes through just like having fun and being out there playing with your friends, your brother, and
Yeah,
um
exactly.
and,
And you
um
learn about yourself and you learn the game because you don't have a
yeah,
coach or someone telling you to do, hey, pass it here, or do this drill. We're not doing drills, we're just playing. So
yeah,
you like figure stuff. Like I don't remember being taught a whole lot,
yeah,
and I'm like, I don't even remember anybody teaching me that. Like you just figuring it out because you're just playing.
yeah,
So yeah, there's too much nowadays, too much pressure on the kids. They're just it's not fun for them.
yeah.
It's a shame.
No, totally. And I think as like the athletes today, it's like thinking about going on to like the professional field, there is like a lot of like I feel like fear or competition, like the feeling of competition might not be like, oh, this is like excitement, this is like competition that drives like anxiety or whatnot.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you had like growing up playing with the boys, kind of just like trying to like just hanging along with all of them and being out there and playing kind of set you up to have the confidence to get onto the field and like be just excited to play. And I think that is different than like a lot of athletes
Yeah.
today where they go out and they're trying out and they come to their tryouts and they're nervous, they have
Yeah.
anxiety, and it's been weeks of kind of like training um but I think if you think back to like your younger self when you first started to play and you were like beginning your soccer journey, is there something that you would say to yourself like now that you know who you are now?
I don't, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess when I first was growing up, my brother played on like the travel team, like a club team. We had one club team in our city, right? And they didn't have girls, of course. So I got a phone call when I was like 10 or 9, and there was the boys coach saying, "Hey, we heard your daughter's pretty good.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring her out? Right? Let her come have her try out or whatever." And my dad was kind of like, I don't know. My mom's like, "Hell yeah, we're going." Right? So
Yeah.
I do remember kind of showing up there, and they were all boys, and I was kind of like, I don't know, for some reason I was a little bit nervous, but
Yeah.
like literally, like they threw the ball down and we just started playing, and I just like I didn't think about it. Like I'd already been in that situation. I was already like playing soccer was what I could do, so I just went in there and did it. I wasn't thinking about too much. So honestly, I don't remember thinking like these kids are anxious, like you said, because there's so much pressure to fail. Like I didn't have that when I was
Yeah.
playing. Like I wasn't thinking, oh my God, if I mess up, what's going to happen? Like that didn't even come into my mind. Now
Yeah.
that's the first thing these kids are thinking. Like it's a tryout situation, or I'm trying to make this team. What if I don't? I didn't have the what if I don't. I'm like, I'm just going to go do.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference now is they're thinking about all the things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
And that's hard to overcome. Whereas, and on my generation was like, just go play.
Yeah.
Which like again, we didn't have all the pressures and anxiety that I think these kids have now because of the expectations, either from their parents or their coach or whoever it is. My coach was like a track coach; he didn't even know anything about soccer. So what do they know, right? So they're just like, go play or go run. Like, so there
Yeah.
wasn't any of that.
Why do
Yeah.
I
My
feel like
parents, yeah, yeah. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, why do I feel like that's a theme with soccer coaches is they're mainly just like track coaches and get you out
Yeah,
there and
or
run. I remember our high school tryouts were just get out
which
there
is
and run, whoever's most fit.
Yeah.
yeah, which isn't awesome, but it's also like they don't know, so just go play. Like
But it's
Yeah.
also
nowadays, all these coaches think they know so much, and they're doing all these drills, and then it becomes no fun for anybody, right? And I just the adults are ruining it for the kids.
that's what I was
Is the bottom
thinking.
line. It's the bottom line. Like the adults are ruined. Like there's too much pressure, too much expectation on these kids too early, I
Yeah.
Right.
think.
It's like, do you have to train the kids or do you have to train the parents? Because it sounds like you never had that hesitation because your parents were
Right.
so, your mom was just like, go out there and play. Who cares? Go have fun.
Right.
And you said, go ahead.
I think it's the parents because a lot of times when we do these camps, like Mia will do a speech at the beginning of the camp and be like, "Hey, drop your kids off, go away, like don't be here, like we don't want to hear you, we don't want to hear you coaching, we don't want to hear, like
Yeah.
be a parent, go have a coffee, come back, and then just be happy that your kid, like give your kid a hug at the end. Don't ask him how many goals they scored. Don't scream and from the sideline when they make a bad pass. Like that's the people that we're really like focused on. Like we make sure we give the parent speech, how just be a parent. Like you're not their coach, you're not their speed trainer. They just need someone to like support them no matter what happens.
Right.
And they lack that. That's lacking now. Like I see it at the high school. You can tell. I know a lot of the families, and I know the kids that like get pressured or don't get the support, and it's stressful on the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of like not like how much percent of these kids are going to be pro athletes or Olympians? Like 0.1 or a one. You know what I mean? Like the whole point of it is to have fun and to meet, to learn how to compete, to have confidence, to
Yeah.
overcome adversity. Like you see all these things in sports.
Yeah.
It's a lesson in life, and you learn how to be a good teammate. Like that's a great lesson. That'll take you as far as you can ever want to go. Learn to work with people, be respectful, support others, be happy when people succeed. Like all of those things,
Yeah.
that's the end point
Yeah,
not the Olympics. That if that comes, that's just a bonus. Like, but
totally.
everybody just they get so knocked down so many times on their way that they don't take anything. Then they don't want to play at all. So that's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. And like when I know you're doing a lot with like the high school like athletes, is there when you see an athlete whose like parents are kind of like creating like anxiety in them or fear to play the game, like is there something that you do with them to kind of like nip that in the butt, or is there anything, do you think it's like out of your control, or is there anything that you do as a coach to kind of
Yeah,
help
no,
them?
I'll just subtly always just have their back. Like I'll just
Yeah.
always go over to say, "Hey, great job today," or "Good try," or if they make a bad pass, I'm like, "Hey, like you're aware, I'm aware," and I'll make points, subtle points,
Yeah.
to always lift them up, to give them the confidence that they need. Um,
Yeah.
which I hopefully I think will help. But like ultimately, yeah, and you do that with everyone, no matter what their situation is. But like, yeah, you're aware, and you try to give them a little extra positivity to help them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. And it sounds like growing up, your parents were kind of just like encouraging you to go play, enjoy it, have fun. Were they were they like parents who were always there, kind of watching you, or did they kind of give you tips after the game, or was
No,
it?
they didn't know. No,
Yeah.
they would drop me off, and they went to every game. Even in college, I think and I went to North Carolina from California. They probably missed 2 or 3 games in 4 years. And that's games at North Carolina, or we traveled. We were in Texas or Notre Dame, wherever they went to. Like, I meant my job was the youngest kid, so the other kids were already gone, so they were able to travel. So they came to like everything, but
Yeah.
they weren't yelling pointers or mad at me if I didn't score. You know what I mean? They were just there to support, and
Totally.
not only me, like the whole team. So
Yeah.
that's a huge just positive in my life
Yeah.
that not everybody has.
Totally.
Um, and one of them was probably at every game that I ever played in anything,
Yeah. And I think
softball,
that's
volleyball, whatever they came. Yeah.
yeah. And I think that's just like such an important lesson in life. It's like it's not always about what you say or what you do. It's just about like showing up and being there to support people, like whether it is for a sports game or it's just for anything in life. So I think
Yeah.
that,
Show up. Right.
yeah,
And even towards the national team, towards the end, I didn't play much. Like I was coming in off the bench. They were at everything. They still were there. Like it's still important. They were there cheering on they were there to cheer everybody on. So,
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, kudos to them for sure.
I love
That's
that.
incredible.
Awesome. And so now, like going into kind of like your career and like I know you said like you had the confidence, you love to play the game. Like what was it like kind of not only stepping in for tryouts for at UNC, but also kind of for the national team, and then what was it like kind of when you were stepping on the field for the World Cup game? Like were there feelings of anxiety or was it excitement, and kind of how did you deal with those feelings? Just kind of like bring us to kind of how you felt at those moments.
Yeah, I feel like college. I mean, you're nervous because you're at a new place, right? So you're a freshman in a new spot. So, um, yeah, I remember being nervous, but then I remember just like when the games, like we did like the first day, it was like returning players versus like the new kids, right? Which was like all the freshmen and the reserve players, and they just you just put a ball out and you start playing. And as soon as the game starts, I shut up. Like I wasn't anxious or nervous about anything. I think I was more excited probably than anxious. I don't think anxious was in my thoughts. I wasn't anxious
Yeah.
often, which is great.
Yeah.
Um, the same with like the national team.
Mhm.
I was nervous a little bit for that too. Not anxious, I don't think. Is I'm more excited. Like let me get going and let's get into it. And playing in like the Olympics and stuff was just excitement. I think we all got nervous because there were crowds bigger than we'd ever seen because we
Yeah.
used to play in front of like our parents. And then we show up to the Olympics and there's 50,000 people. I mean, that's a big shock to people's system. So I think we were all taken aback a bit about that. But once a game starts, it's like you have your teammates, you put the work in with them. We had a pretty unique team. The national team were just like a group of sisters and positive people that were supportive in a lot of ways, which was awesome. Like right as soon as I came into that team, I started training with them when I was probably 18.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was like an outsider or like not welcome.
Yeah.
I always felt like they had my back and they were encouraging me, which is great because that's a tough spot to be in. I am there to try to take a spot on the team. So, but I had a lot of support in that. So again, I felt blessed to have felt like I was on a team of sisters. And that same team stayed together for quite a long time, um, which is why I think we were so successful because we had a unique relationships. And, we cared about each other more off the field, which really, obviously, if you have that, then you can win anything.
Totally.
And
Were
that's
there
the thing about we also talk about at our team first camps is um, celebrating other people's success, right? So now everybody's worried about, well, I got to score, I got to play well, or whatever I got to do to make me good. Um, that wasn't it, dude. We were trying to win, and so if I was gonna ride the bench until the last 8 minutes and come in, that's my job. Great, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
It was like more about the team and how to help your team win than you being the spotlight or
Yeah.
doing you doing well. It was more how are we going to win and make this a
Yeah.
team first situation.
And do you think that was the coaches doing, or do you think it was just kind of a unique group of girls who just innately like loved each other and had each other's back? Or like were there things that you guys did off the field to make sure that you had that um team like camaraderie on the field?
Yeah, I think our coaches had a lot to do with
Yeah.
it. Tony DeChico was our head coach, and he was like our uncle. He was like a family guy. Like he had four boys, and they were always around. So it was like a family atmosphere, and he preached that, and he treated everybody equally and as important. You know what I mean? That didn't matter if you were the top player or the player that never played at all. Everybody felt valued, and he did a great job with that. And so did Carla Overbeck, who was our captain. I think you guys have had a chat with her, and Julie Foudy was other captain. Same thing. Like they were in charge. Like they ran the show and they made sure that everyone felt wanted and needed and was equally important. We did a lot of team building stuff. We
Yeah.
did get a sports psych like before the 96 Olympics, Dr. Colleen Hacker, and she was huge. She come down to North Carolina and spend weeks, and she'd just come to practice and
Yeah.
be there. And she'd be like, look, we didn't have any like managers like that. Now they have like 20 people at practice picking up, like doing whatever. She was it. She would like chase the balls. She would fill the water. She was like everywhere. She was running around the practice facility, like doing all that. So she was like our sister basically. And then she would hold sessions if you wanted them individually. And she would do a lot of team stuff that was team bonding stuff that would really bring ourselves out emotionally, and
Yeah.
show support for each other. So she was huge in that. But I think it was mostly our captains, Carla and Julie, who this is how it's going to be, and we're going to love and support each other, and everybody's equal. And if you don't follow that, you're not
Yeah.
going to be here. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like it's so important to have like leaders on your team who are like setting that tone that it's like we're all in this together and we're one family. So
yeah, and they do all the hard work too. Like we're all doing the same. And like Mia just did a graduation speech for the Carolina for at UNC. I don't know if you guys heard it. You should listen to it.
yeah.
She names Carla. She names a couple of her teammates, and she just talked about like everybody carries the water. Like meaning like we literally used to get off the bus and have to carry. Now they don't do that because they have all the managers. We used to carry all the stuff
Yeah.
to the practice, or we'd move the goals, and it wasn't like Mia wasn't doing any of that. Like she's the first one, and Carla was the first one to go grab the water and get it where it needed to be, and make sure that everything was put away and cleaned up. So
Yeah.
that was just how it was,
Yeah.
and it was great. It was great.
Yeah. And I think obviously there's like times when it's like you're playing more than others, or you wanted to be in and you thought you'd be in, and the coach might have not played you or somebody else on your team. Like, were there times when that happened and you had to, because obviously like you had that dynamic of we're a team and we're all in this together. How would you or teammates and working with your teammates to get through it, like kind of under like work through that mindset of like knowing that you personally are not getting what you want, but it's best for the team. And I think there's kind
Yeah.
of inherent nature of
Yeah.
somebody, people, you know.
Yeah, that's tough. And that you see that a lot today or and now with like the transfer portal in college, if you're not playing, you're just like, well, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Like
Yeah.
the first thing, well, you first look at your team and go, oh my God, like Michelle Akers and Mia Hamm and Christine. Like if you obviously know how good these players are, and we had a lot of respect for each other. Like I knew it. Then Michelle Akers and Christine Lilly are playing in the midfield. I wasn't, and I knew that. I'm like, that's to me, they're better. That's who should be playing. So you first have to like think about like what can I do to get better, like which is like what I think a lot of these kids, like a couple of the girls I know, I got some calls, they were going into the transfer portal in college, right? And my first question is like, well, why are you leaving? And because well, I'm not playing. And then my second, well, what are you doing to get more playing? Like, what have you done?
Yeah.
Like, did you go in and say, hey, what can I do better? How am I gonna, how can I get on the field? What things do I need to do? And then did you actually do that?
Yeah.
They don't do that. They just say the coach doesn't play me. They don't like me, or they're not, whatever. It's a coach's problem.
Yeah.
It's not the coach's problem. So you have to figure out what you can do to be better. So
Yeah.
for me, I was a starter through the Olympics, and then right before like the World Cup, like they changed formation. I just wasn't in. So I would just like do whatever I could. Obviously, I wanted to play. So you keep working and you try to figure out ways. And there's scenarios where, hey, you fit in a good against this team, or maybe not this team. But I also knew that those players were just better than I was. Like they had different qualities that I had. But I also knew I was a valuable asset over here, because
Yeah.
then you have a bench of 10 people that aren't playing, right? You've got your starters, and then you've got a chunk of people that aren't playing. And
Yeah.
so my sort of role in that 99 World Cup was like, Tony was like, listen, you're going to get some time, but you're mostly like, you got to keep these guys like positive and ready. Like we
Yeah.
need positivity. We need energy. We need these kids. And most of them were younger than I were. We need you guys to be ready, because there's going to be 2 or 3 that get in. We need them ready. So
Yeah.
like, I was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. So like, that was my main thing, was like, you're in charge. This is your group, and
Yeah.
you guys stay positive. You work, because we had to train like after the game was over. If you didn't play, like you were running immediately after on the field. We were
Yeah.
doing fitness, and we had a great group. I think there was 10 of us, and we were tight. And so I just was like, you know, trying to keep everybody positive, because people were getting pulled in. People played important minutes, and if you're not ready and you're sulking over here because you're not playing, and it's your number gets called and you're not ready, you're letting your team down.
Totally.
Right. So it was a unique experience, but I had so much respect and admiration for all of my team,
Yeah.
especially my captains, that I was like, I'm not, whatever role I can play, if I don't play 1 minute, I'm still making an important impact on this team. And they made you feel that way.
Yeah.
Some teams don't. Some teams, you're over here and they don't pay any attention to you. The coaches don't care. And that's unfortunate, because that's still a big piece of the team.
Yeah.
Are the players that are the game changers, we call them, not the reserves.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's like just in general, like having that team first mindset. And I don't think everybody has that, but obviously like you do. And it's so important. But then also knowing what is my own value tied to that team so that you can feel like even if you're not on the field, like you are a part of what happens on that field to kind of help you get through it. And then also like reframing it of like, okay, well, I'm not just sitting on the bench. I'm playing with somebody who's better than me, and I have a lot to learn from them. And so how am I going to get better so I can be in a position that I want to be in? So I
Yeah.
think I liked all the points that you hit on.
Yeah.
So
It's just, how are you going to help you? What do I need to do to help this team win, is what you
yeah,
figure out. And if that's coming in for 10 minutes and just bringing energy, and that's you, great. Then be ready to do that and have a
yeah,
good attitude.
yeah,
Like if you don't have a good attitude and you have bad body language and you're not fun to be around, like no one, that's not going to work.
yeah,
And which is, it happens a lot. So it's like, it's a controllable thing. Like do that. Be positive energy,
yeah. No, I think
things will look up if you do that.
yeah,
You've said too, this throughout this conversation that if you don't have fun, it's not really worth it. But how would you distinguish between that type of fun? Because clearly, not playing is not fun at first. And I think in retrospect, you had so much success, so it might be easier to look back and say, like, stay positive. But were there times when you felt like it was super challenging or that you hit a setback? Or is there any specific story that you can remember where either you had to rely on a teammate or rely on something or a coach that got you out of that rut? Like, did you ever feel like you were in a rut or a plateau?
I mean, I had an injury or two that would like injury is a big thing now, and they're happening more and more. That's always tough, like because you feel like you can't help at all there. So teammates, I think it's all goes back to your teammate. Like, what kind of teammate, what team are you on, and who are your teammates really? And I had it like when I first got to Carolina. I think I was a freshman, and we were out like having dinner or something. I mean, I just got overwhelmed because I didn't know as many people. I just felt overwhelmed. We were in the season. I just felt like no one cared or whatever. So I like ran outside or whatever. And then like 2 seconds behind me is Christine.
Yeah.
So she like chased me out of this place, and like we just sat on the church lawn or whatever, had like a little talk or whatever. But like, yeah, it's not always easy. Like, it's not always easy because obviously you want to be successful, you want to play, you want everything to be great, but it's not always going to be. So then you have to figure out ways to deal with it, or you hope that you're on a team of people that really do care about you off the field. And I did. So I had her come and chase me down, and we had a good chat. And I think that was a unique team. That's a high or a college team that we were all very tight knit as well, and that you felt like you could talk to people about whatever. Mia was my roommate. Angela Kelly was my roommate. Carrie Sanchez was my roommate, and we didn't always talk soccer. Like, we would sit home and play cards and do other fun stuff. It was like you just had people that had your back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's important. And the way you get that way is, you support them too, and you it goes two ways. So yeah, it wasn't always easy. Injury comes.
Yeah.
To fight through that and just stay positive. But I think when you're surrounded by people like-minded like you, like, you can feed it, you can get it from someone else. So you're not always going to show up with like super high spirit, like ready to go. Like, it's in there, but then you rely on your teammates to kind of pick you up in those situations.
Yeah. That's
Same thing when
yeah.
same thing as when you screw up on the field, your teammate has your back.
Right. It's the beauty of team sports too, I think.
Beauty of it. That's why I'm not
Someone's
great at golf. Golf is,
Oh
yeah.
no. Yeah, you got to play. Can you play?
It's all you on
Doubles,
golf.
but I guess yeah, it's pretty on your own.
Yeah.
Unless what's
Yeah.
it called when you play best ball? That's kind of a team
Yeah,
sport.
I like that. That I'm good at.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when
Yeah,
one
that's
person's not feeling it, the other person is probably feeling their best, so they can pull each other out.
right. And that's how a team works. And that happens all the time, where you show up and you're low energy, you're kind of this, and then you get around that and you're like, oh yeah, and then you're in. Right. So
Right.
that's why you have people like Julie Foudy on your team, who's always high energy and making jokes. And like, she would make a joke. We would be training before the World Cup semifinal, and she'd be, we're all serious trying to do something, and she would say something funny, and then everybody would like, like, keep it like it's real life. Like, keep it, yeah. And that's not too heavy. Like, it's not that serious.
Right.
It's sports.
Exactly.
I know you mentioned it was tough transitioning from being a professional athlete to being a mom, not having soccer, and like then you started to kind of do the academy and you start coaching. And how, like, what did it feel like at first when you were like, I need to change something to integrate, like find ways to bring soccer back into my life? Like, did you feel a certain way at that time when you didn't have soccer? Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who like retire, they like lose their identity, which is defined by the sport that they play. And like, how did you kind of navigate that transition?
Yeah, I think that is tough. For me, it happened quick because, like I said, I literally retired, and then I had a kid like a year later. So I kind of got just it right. When you have a kid, you're busy. Really, it's a whole different situation. But like, it's tough. I think that's why, because you're used to being on a team, and with the national team, it was like a scheduled situation. Like, you're going to be here from here, like you're going to Florida for 2 weeks, and here's your itinerary. Bang, like everything's, you just show up and like they tell you where to go, and you've got your friends built in. So when I
Yeah.
actually first moved, stopped playing, it was here. We didn't know a lot of people because I had a house here, but I was never actually here because I was with the national team, or I lived in San Jose. I was playing pro. I had to move up to San Jose. So I didn't really live here. So, and I'm not from here. So I didn't have like a group. We didn't know people. So that was rough. So then when I finally got here, I'm like, I don't, like, I knew a couple of neighbors, but like, I didn't grow up here. I don't have family, friends. I don't have anybody here. So that was tough. So I was at the gym. I'd meet a few people at the gym or whatnot. And then we had our son. And then I started like going to the park and then you start meeting other people then the kids would meet. And so then I started meeting families through him. And cause
Yeah.
I don't know anybody. So
Yeah.
it took like a year and a half. And I started to meet through him, through classes, or just being in the neighborhood parks. I started meeting people. Now these are all like our greatest friends, live all in our area here from
Yeah.
when the kids were growing up. So it's tough. Like, I don't know, like if I didn't have him and have a family, like I don't know, I guess you get out and meet people, but it's hard when you
Yeah.
move to a new place and you don't know anybody and you're used to like your people who now live everywhere else.
Yeah.
And you're used to being in that group and relying on people.
Yeah.
So it was a little tough for a while, actually. And I don't have family here. No one lives here. So it took us a couple years to kind of get like our group of support system here.
Yeah.
That we do have now. That's been awesome, but it did take a couple years.
Yeah. I love that. I think it's so important. I feel like I think you touched on this earlier, but like wellness isn't just like the physical, the mental, but it's the community aspect. It's
Yeah.
who you have around you, the support, the spiritual aspect. So I think it's a reminder that like when you don't have that like thing that you're showing up to every single day that's like so tangible, that there's like other areas of your life that you can look at to kind of feel better. And it's like finding people to surround yourself by who have either similar interests or similar values that you can kind of who can be there to support you. And I think
Yeah.
you've talked about it as like a team, and it's easy. It's not easy, but it's like when you have that built-in support system, it's one thing, but when you have to find it for yourself, it's another. But it's remembering it's so important, and trying to find those avenues to kind of find your people and
Yeah. That's it. You need your people. That's
yeah,
exactly right. Yeah.
yeah,
That's exactly right.
Tish, you've shared a lot of different tidbits too, but one of our final questions too is what's something that you hope just the next generation of players takes from your story, kind of beyond your accomplishments?
Um, I don't know. I think it's just believe in yourself, like believe in yourself and then support yourself and your teammates. Like, be a good teammate. Like, don't think of yourself first. Like, how can you make the others around you better? Because that'll ultimately make you better. Um, it's just like, what can you bring to the table? What do you have to offer? And then how can I make my team better? That's like the first question anywhere, and not in just in soccer, just like in your job or wherever you are, whoever you're working with. Like, how am I contributing?
yeah,
And not just how can I get to here? Like, I want to be up here, which is great, but you don't get there. You have to, take steps to get there. And one of them is just being a good teammate in whatever way that shape, way or form that is. And try to enjoy it too. Like, it's the soccer, especially like these young kids. I'm always like, dude, are you having fun? Like just try to like have fun,
Yeah.
which just let it go. Like, don't think too much. But again, it's a product of their environment a lot, which they don't have control over really. So, just be a good teammate. That's team first is what the name of our camp is. It's pretty self-explanatory. It seems easy, but it isn't. And there's I coach the teams, and there's like kids that get it, man. I'm like, God, I love that kid. That is just a good, like, you want that kid on your team. Might not be the best player, not always is the best player, but it's like someone you need, right? Like,
yeah,
you got to have that player.
yeah,
Because they bring intangible stuff that not everybody does. And so that's a secret. Like be that player that they have to take that you need on your team.
That's very fitting based on our whole conversation. It sounds like the way you played and even the times when you weren't like the starting person, that's how you approached like getting there. So
Yeah.
it's a very valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Kayla, do you have any other questions before we wrap up?
No, I think was there any other like specific topics that you wanted to hit on, Tish?
I don't think so. I just want you guys to get back on the creatine. Get back to me on the creatine.
We got your contact. We definitely will.
I
Yeah.
want to see that lady if she's thriving.
We can connect you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have one more question too, Kayla, unless you have anything. But
No, all you, Max. You got
okay.
it.
Our final question is, who do you nominate next to share their wellness journey
Oh,
with us?
let's see. Actually, well, maybe Brandy. Brandy Chastain's a good one.
That's a good one.
She takes good care of herself, I would say.
We would love
Yeah,
to.
she'd be interesting to talk to.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much. This
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
All
It was
right, you
nice to
got
meet you.
it.
All
Bye-bye.
All
right.
right,
Thank you so
see you
much.
guys
Bye. Have a
later.
good one.
You too.